Well, the work that I do right now is create atmospheres. I pretty much take a group of people and try and create an envelope of safety and accessibility so they can have some fun and feel at ease and feel uninhibited, and then create a real positive vibe so they're sharing their best selves. So I've been able to make a career out of weekend-long parties.
First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Bill.
Hi, Bill!
My name is Bill Kubicek. I am the founder and executive director of Next Step.
I want to start it off by just saying this is an amazing opportunity.
It's an organization that works with teens and young adults dealing with life-threatening illness.
So I hope that you're able to wring every experience out of every second this weekend that you can, because it can really be something amazing.
While going through high school and even early in college, I thought there was no way that I was ever going to be able to decide what I wanted to do in my life. I think I was the jack of all trades, master of none. There were individuals that always would tell me, you know, it's time for you to start to focus, to kind of narrow down the scope of what you do. I loved playing sports in high school. I loved being a musician in high school. I really enjoyed academics and student leadership. And that continued into college, although I had to start to specialize more. But I just couldn't figure out how I could use all of these things at the same time. So I went to college on a music scholarship, and I performed as a musician for a couple of years through college. That was how I paid for school for my freshman and sophomore year. And then as part of that, I started to work with groups of kids from the inner city near the college that I was going to at the time. And what was told to me at that point, and I remember so vividly that it was an opportunity for me to be, to use music, to use some of my performance background in theater in front of a group. It was academically, it was challenging to kind of build curriculums. I would do lots of activities that were very physical, so we would run around and we would do games that had us up and out and about. And I got feedback from one of my peers who had been doing it for many years, that was part of the program. And he said, you know, do you realize what a natural teacher you are? And I hadn't. And it was the first time that I saw something that could pull everything that I love to do, all these, you know, being varied in my pursuits, pull them all together and have them be applied in one specific way.
All right, you ready?
I'd like to salute my hometown of Lincoln, Wisconsin, population 1,612. Salute!
Program for a couple years, and my music performance started to kind of slip back because this became much more important to me. And I changed my major from music performance to social work, which was it was a great choice at that point. It made my parents very happy. And I began to really kind of explore ways that I could work with groups of kids and still utilize all these skill sets, and that was when I found there was a Life magazine article that was published in 1990, and it was, the cover story was Paul Newman's Hole in the Wall Gang Camp. And I read it, and there was a contact number in the back, and I called and I said I'd like to work there, and they hired me and threw all of my worldly belongings in the back of my Volkswagen bus and drove 2,000 miles to get to Connecticut, and that was where I stayed. The Hole in the Wall Gang Camp was started in 1988 to provide a summer camp experience for children with cancer and blood diseases. Very much along the line of the New England camp experience, boating and fishing, wood shop, arts and crafts, but it was built in such a way that it was specialized to deal with the issues that come along with a child growing up with cancer and blood diseases, and some of the physical limitations that they may have, along with really being the Taj Mahal of camps. My work at Next Step was a very natural and organic continuation of my 12 years at the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp. The Hole in the Wall is built to provide amazing support for kids from age 7 to 15, and at 16 the support of camp would then end as a result of their age. And in my opinion, that was when they needed that community behind them the most, because they're considering independent thought, independent life, they're considering their future, making some really hard choices, and what they felt while they were at camp was this sense of empowerment and the sense of anything is possible.
I'll never forget the first time I came here, and I'm never going to forget this time. And this place is truly magical, you know. It's not something people just say.
The stories kept coming back time and time again from the parents and from these kids themselves saying, I wish I still had camp. I wish there was something out there that was that kind of support. So that was the motivation to really striking out on my own and starting this company to continue that level of support and that kind of programming.
We're all in the same boat, so it doesn't feel like I'm a minority anymore. It's kind of like I feel like an equal.
So they don't have to explain things first. They can just really think about the future without having it be through the context of their cancer or their sickle cell or their HIV.
People who actually understand what I'm trying to say about what has happened to me, how I've been dealing with it.
Because everybody that's at the table already has that. It's understood. So they can really talk about what they want to be and how they want to get there.
Like, we have a common bond, all of us, and it just makes me feel good.
I think you all owe yourselves a huge round of applause. Congratulations.
If you're interested in working in an environment where there's groups that are coming together with a common goal, and it's very it's outcome oriented, and you want to be a facilitator of groups like this, there are a certain number of skills that I find absolutely indispensable. I think you've got to be able to laugh, and you've got to be able to communicate a sense of integrity and honesty that allows groups to just trust you.
Now, on the front of your shirts, that hopefully everybody has already gotten, it says "Ready to Climb." That's a really important phrase to me. That's something that I carry with me all the time. We all take risks in our lives, and we all get to a place where we say, you know what, I don't know if I can do this. But what this phrase means to me is that I know that I have a safety net behind me. I've got people that support me. I know there are people that understand me.
I think the most important skill, though, that a group facilitator needs to have in my role is the ability to understand each individual in the group and what their needs are, and make sure that somehow they're being met. So that requires a good deal of empathy, and you've got to be a strong communicator. You've got to be able to really read groups well, listen well, and not just listen to words, but understand the emotional needs that are coming from the individuals that you're working with.
In my mind, I ask, are my spotters ready? And they say, we're ready. And you're able to answer back to them, well, I'm ready to climb. I can then hear that in my mind, the next phrase, which is climb away. And that allows me to start up whatever that climb might be. So even though we're not going to follow you all back to wherever you are, know that because you left a piece of you here, and you take that with you, that we're behind you saying, climb away.
My advice has been, and I think will remain, keep your options open. If you pursue something that fills you up, that makes you happy, and that somehow utilizes your gifts, then real specific options that are going to carry you in that direction are going to constantly present themselves.
I want you to just stand and put your hands on this chain if you can. So very slowly, come on in, and we're going to try and pick this up.
I think what drives me most and what really keeps me in the game and keeps me fresh in the game after this many years of working with this population is seeing real impact. Watching it kind of unfold from the skeptical person that steps in on Friday night to, you know, the person that can't believe how close they've gotten with this group of folks over the course of 38 hours by Sunday afternoon, it's invigorating. And we get better and better at it. I think like anything, when you find something that you have an innate ability to do, and then you find a way to put that into action, and actually, and for me, really make a difference, that's a good deal of the income that keeps me going. It's a very, it's an emotional income that really brings me back to the table time and time again.